Hello everyone, this is Amanda Sanchez of Queens Redeemed, and I am here with the first interview of 2019 with the lovely Jacqueline Camacho-Ruiz. She is an entrepreneur, an author, a speaker, a philanthropist, and a Latina. That is a pilot, a female pilot. So thank you so much, Jacqueline, for being here with us today. So excited to have this opportunity with you. So some of you may know, Jackie has started the Today's Inspired Latina. So I actually have the honor to be working with her in Volume 5 as one of the contributing authors. And so I wanted to take this time to get to know Jackie and share just her journey of becoming an entrepreneur and everything she kind of had to endure, because I know there's a lot of women out there that will be inspired by her story, and I just touched the tip of the iceberg and had me in waterworks. So I pray that this message blesses you as well. So Jackie, share with us, what is it that inspired you to become an entrepreneur, and where did that journey start?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on your show. It's always an honor to have a platform to share the love and the connection that I feel with helping the community, and so thank you for that, first of all. Where did that idea of entrepreneurship begin? Let me see. I can probably go back to when I was 5 years old. I lived in Mexico City, and we, in the middle of all these polluted air and like times where the no circula rule, which certain days that you couldn't drive certain cars because of the elevated pollution, I found this beautiful fig tree in our backyard, and I found it fascinating for a couple of reasons. One is that this tree would give figs all year round, and it was always like abundant with figs.
Nice.
So both of my parents were entrepreneurs at that time, and they just taught me that you can make things out of nothing, that you can with your drive and your dedication, that you can make magic happen. And one day I saw this fig tree as an opportunity, and I said, I think I can make this happen. I got as many figs as I could, and I went outside with a little wobbly table that was falling apart, and I decided to start my first company. Little did I know that most people would not even notice that I was there. I'm like, isn't this what happens when you start a business?
Yes.
Isn't this what happens when you open up the doors to a store? People just flock in and like magic? Well, it wasn't true. And of course now as a marketer, I know that that's not true. That's why you need marketing. But I started chasing people down the street.
Okay.
And I said, today you have an amazing deal to buy figs. You can buy 5 figs for 3 pesos. And this is the day that you can bring value to the people that work with you at the office, because I knew there was an office, because my dream was to wear a suit every day, so I was fascinated. And they would come back and buy the figs. But it wasn't until I actually started asking them to come back, because otherwise I would be completely invisible.
Right.
So when my mom came out, she noticed that I had sold 30 pesos in figs. And that's when she realized, this is like, she's got something. And for whatever reason, that experience really got stuck in my heart. Like, you know what? I will never forget that. The ability to make it happen. And to just go out of your comfort zone and add value to other people. That's how you make this happen. So in hindsight, and unbeknownst to me, that was really the beginning of my very first journey as an entrepreneur.
That's awesome.
At 5 years old. My fig selling business.
That's awesome. Most people don't even think about that, because there's so much opportunity for kids to become entrepreneurs these days, and it's just taking that moment to be creative, And so some of the companies that you have a lot going on. I just found out she has a coffee line as well today. So did it start with the Fig Factor Foundation, or?
No, it actually started.
So where did it start? Yes.
It started at 23.
Okay.
Had been in the States for probably about since I was 14 years old. So you guys do the math.
Yeah.
Because I did a lot of math this morning. I was flying to a little airport. Basically, I started at 23, and my idea was to generate ideas and solutions for businesses that wanted to gain market share. So this is startups, middle market businesses, and Fortune 500 companies, and really help them with ideas and thoughts and creativity so that they can reach the markets that they wanted to reach. And that started at 23.
Nice.
Now, what is interesting is that I was 23 years old, and when I was 14, I didn't speak a word of English. And at 23, I started a marketing communications PR agency. And a lot of people were scratching their heads and saying, wait a second, you're a young Latina, you're 23, that's kind of young to be an entrepreneur back then, 13 years ago. And on top of that, you're going to start a marketing communications PR agency when you didn't even speak the language, at 14. I felt confident. I felt something inside my heart. Subsequently, as I started writing my first book, which, by the way, I've been an author for almost 10 years, which is crazy. I wrote my first book in 2010. So I started writing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Right now, I just published my 13th book.
Nice.
But I wrote book 7 is when I decided to create a publishing company, and that was Fig Factor Publishing. Around the same time, I started a nonprofit organization called Fig Factor Foundation. And now we have 112 young Latinas ages 12 to 25 that have come through our program. I call them my daughters because really, I really resonate with helping them and, communicating with their parents and all that. So that's how I kind of got started. So JJR in 2006, Fig Factor Media and Fig Factor Media Publishing House International, and Fig Factor Foundation in 2014, and then the book started in 2010.
Okay, that's great. Now, share with us a little bit about the Fig Factor Foundation and the young women that you're working with, because I know my heart with Queens Redeemed, the Lord is still formulating the idea, but women have always been the center of my heart. Young girls, really just helping them to cultivate and just to grow into some amazing queens, in the society today. So what exactly is it that you do with the young women there?
We started along with the board, which I'm so blessed to have so many amazing women that have really poured their heart into the foundation, because alone you can't do anything. No one ever built a beehive. No bee ever built a beehive alone. And that's a quote that
that's great.
A friend of mine shared with us. I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful. But the foundation really is founded on 4 steps. Step number 1 is where the girls 12 to 25 get an opportunity to go through a 2-day program. And they basically go through the 8 core values that I share in my book, The Fig Factor. They could be passion, perseverance, vision, persistence, that kind of thing. So that's 1. And then the second step is where they get 6 months of mentorship, one-on-one mentorship. The third step and the fourth step third step is amazing experiences where these girls get exposed to things that they would never dream of. Like recently we took them to Facebook. We've taken them flying on planes.
That's amazing.
We've taken them to the racetrack. Like all these things that really open up their mind. Like, what is out there? The world is so beautiful and amazing. And then the fourth step is where we take them back to volunteer in the community. So we've had 112 girls that have gone through either the core 2-day program or the core express, which is a small version of the core. And mentors, we've had lots and lots of mentors that have guided our girls, and lots of experiences as well. So
that's great. So I'm interested in how can someone participate in that? Like a young girl, how can she get involved? And even some mentors out there, there's a lot of women that want to do something within the community. How can they get involved in that?
They can go to our website, Fig Factor, thefigfactor.org, and you'll be able to sign up for volunteer opportunities. You'll be able to sign up for something historic that we have coming up, which is unbelievable. This is what we call Young Latina Day. And it's an opportunity to elevate young Latinas in our community. So the exciting part about this is that 7 cities, the first 7 cities nationwide, will proclaim Young Latina Day in the state of Illinois on April 11th.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's going to be a historic celebration. And this is the third year we do it. We had 1 city the first year, 3 the next year, and now 7 cities, including the city of Chicago, proclaiming and elevating young Latinas.
Oh,
super excited about that.
Oh,
so go to the website. You'll find some information about that. So excited.
Oh, see, this is what I mean. Jackie has literally everything going on, and I didn't get to tell her this earlier, but to me, and learning her story, she's literally like Wonder Woman has my heart. Like, that is my superhero, the new modern Wonder Woman. No offense to the old school one, but Jackie is like my modern day Wonder Woman. The Wonder Woman I can see, I can hug, I can talk to. You're absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
And so where it might get a little touchy. Jackie has overcome so much adversity. You've had a lot in your life. If you don't mind, would you mind sharing some of those adversities that you've come across, and what was it that really, how did you get through them? Because I know sometimes, we hit a wall and not enough people have that resilience to just continue to push on, and you have. So would you mind sharing some of those things with us?
Yeah, I always say that I've been thinking about it lately. Like, a lot of people see your success and they see that you've gotten to a place where you have global impact, which I'm blessed to witness every day in my life. And a lot of people think that you just sort of arrived on a parachute.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you just sort of landed on this beautiful bullseye of success. And newsflash, it's not true. It's success is a progressive realization of worthy goals. Mm-hmm. And for me, success hasn't come at no cost. It has come at a high price. I always say that I'm a survivor. There's a Chinese proverb that says that behind every great person, there's a great illness.
Interesting.
Or behind every great illness or challenge, there's a great person. Wow. And for me, I feel truly like a survivor in a lot of different ways. Stigmas of, poverty, mm-hmm. of stereotypes, of doubts and fear and paralyzing thoughts. Almost like survivor of my own mind a lot of times, and then illnesses that shaped the way of my existence, and just, I was at the airport this morning because I was flying with one of my friend pilots, and we went out to breakfast, and he's like, I delivered my 12th and 13th book, which is the aviation book, right? And he was saying, he's like, Jackie, you are such an inspiration to so many people. And I've always felt like in the world of aviation, for example, which is surviving other stigmas,
yes.
that I've been like this underdog, like this young Latina that came up, like, this is not a career for me, this is a hobby. And what it takes to become a pilot, really is a testament of my commitment to life. And, truthfully opportunities. And that's my motto, that's surviving through so many things at the age of 21 when I was diagnosed with cancer, at the age of 23 when I had pre-cancer by my liver. Wow. That ended up reconstructing my entire digestive system. Wow. With not knowing if I was going to live or if I was going to be fed out of a tube for the rest of my life. And luckily I'm so blessed to be alive, living a normal life. But that really paralyzed me for years. But in that quest of asking God, like, why am I here? Mm-hmm. Like, I've heard this word cancer twice by the age of 23. Like, why am I here? And I kept thinking, well, I'm here to serve people. But I had no idea. I mean, how does a young Latina that has nothing at 23 years old, that is surviving, how does a young Latina serve the world? Yes. And I think little by little, in surviving that, I started connecting to my true essence and my love, and planting seeds of love throughout the way, and believing in people and their dreams. And then, here we are today.
Wow.
It's been quite a journey.
Yes. So thank you for that. Now, I know we have our today's Inspired Latina book launch coming on May 23rd out in Oak Brook at Gibson, so I'm really excited for that. And then we have the Latina Talks coming a month prior, and that's April 25th. And I'm excited for that. So I will also be a speaker on that, and that's going to be at North Central College in Naperville. And so I know, so today's Inspired Latina came first, and then Latina Talks.
Yes.
Right? So share with us, how did today's Inspired Latina come about? Because now we're on volume 5, and then volume 6 is going to be the international European version. So we're excited for that. So how did today's Inspired Latina come?
You know what? It's a divine download. I mean, it's an idea, an inspiration with an amazing feeling. I had already published 6 of my own books and done a tour here in the United States and Mexico. And I started to meet a lot of amazing women, a lot of amazing Latinas that wanted a story, wanted to share their story and be vulnerable to elevate the community. But they didn't know how. They didn't know how to write a book. So keep in mind that I had, by that time, had an agency, a marketing communications agency for years. So, and the fact that I had obviously gained a lot of experience in publishing books, because I already had 6 of those books by that time, it was a natural thing. And my idea started with like maybe 10 women.
Okay.
So I had the editors, the proofreaders, the designers, the idea, the know-how, all the ingredients to make this happen. And what was interesting is that it just started to flow. From 10 women, it turned out to be 26 for volume 1.
Nice.
But I didn't put volume because I didn't know it was going to be more than one. And then people started asking me from from all over the United States, from New York, from Florida, from California, from Texas, Arizona. Can I be part of the next one? I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to do a next one. Call me the day after the book launch and I'll let you know, right? And then people were like flooded with requests, and I've probably spoken with over 1,000 women.
Wow.
And now volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And volume 6 is coming up in Belgium and Paris with authors and Latinas that live in Europe, which is incredible. I was lucky to do 2 European tours thanks to this amazing visionary woman that founded the only Latina conference in Europe.
Wow.
In the most prestigious conference, and this is Veronica Sosa, that opened up the doors to her European community. And so I was there a couple of times in 2018, and now we're doing this together in 2019 and beyond. But then Latina Talks came as a multimedia way to share concepts and thoughts for the authors exclusively. And we were talking about doing this with a live audience for the first time. And I was like, how do we make this happen? This is the 3rd Latina Talks that I do. And basically the other 2 have been at a beautiful auditorium with a camera, or maybe a few cameras, and a beautiful 3-dimensional, 6 foot by 4 feet giant book.
Oh yeah.
And one of our major sponsors, Wintros Community Bank, said, "Why don't you do it with a live audience?" I was a little scared. Oh my God, because I know what it takes to put together successful events. There are no shortcuts. A lot of people think, I'm just going to draw. Like, the fact that today's Inspired Latina has drawn and has become the biggest Latina book launch in the United States is not an accident. It's the result of lots of years of preparation and knowing as a marketing agency what to do, and there are no shortcuts. You can't put together a massive event in a matter of 2 months or 3 months, and for me it's been 5 years in the making.
Wow.
And now I put something out there and things get sold out.
Yeah.
And so Latina Talks was an example.
Yeah.
I put it out there. We have amazing speakers like you, super excited, nervous about this 239 seats theater.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how are we going to do this? Within less than a week, completely sold out.
Yeah.
And I'm getting bombarded by messages. Can I still get in? Can I still get in? Can I make it in? I made the executive decision by one of the authors, Elizabeth Colon. She's like, Jackie, go big or go home. I'm like, Elizabeth, I don't know. Can we do this? Oh my gosh. She inspired me to move the space from a theater that sat 239 to 1,000 people. And more registrations came in. I have to say that close to 470 people as of today have registered for the event. It's unheard of. It's unbelievable. And to know that the massive events that I have in New York, Latina Talks, today's Inspire Latina Volume 5 book launch in Chicago, and then today's Inspire Latina Volume 5 book launch in New York at the New York Times.
Yes.
Sold out, every single one of them. It's crazy. It's magic.
Amazing. So if you haven't gotten your tickets for the Latina Talks,
and
or
they're
the book
free,
launch,
they're free. Yes.
They're free. I'm gonna need you to get your tickets. We're gonna put the link below. Make sure you get those. I was so nervous about the small seating. I literally had to reserve 20 for us. Like my husband got 10, I got 10. I was like, I'm getting people in the door. I have to.
Because you can bring another 50 people.
Yes, yes. I want to
another
fill
500
those
tickets
rooms. Yes. This is exciting. I've never spoken in front of a group of 1,000, let alone maybe 200 people at most. So this is
incredible.
Exciting.
And North Central College has the most beautiful auditorium facilities. And thanks to one of the other authors, Jelena Sanchez, who's a Spanish professor and a flamenco instructor. She's like unbelievable. She takes a lot of students to Spain, and she has opened up the doors to these auditoriums at North Central College for 3 consecutive times for Latina Talk. So it's pure magic.
So exciting. I love it. Well, I can go on and on. I can literally probably be here for hours with you, but I want to maybe ask 1 or 2 more questions. And so my goal for Queens Redeemed is to be an inspiration to young women who want to become entrepreneurs, but are a little bit afraid to take that leap of faith to step out there. So what recommendations do you have on, becoming that entrepreneur and living out those dreams? Because they say the worst place to be, in life, one is a cemetery. Right? Everybody thinks because we're dead. But it's not. It's the saddest place because there are so many dreams that have died and have been buried that people have not lived out. And then there's another famous quote that says, a lot of people die at 25, but they're not buried until their 60s and their 70s because they let their dreams die inside.
It's so sad.
And it is. And so what advice would you have to someone there, like what should I do, tugging at it, what does it take to be an entrepreneur, and why should they take that leap of faith, and how?
That's a very good question. I get asked that question a lot. How do I become an entrepreneur? Do I have what it takes? The first thing that you need to know is that there are no shortcuts. A lot of people get very, very excited to start a new business, and sometimes in that emotion and excitement and happiness of like, wow, something new, and the freshness of starting a new company or a new idea, a new thought, they forget about their core values, and they forget about being loyal to people. They forget about the interest of other people, and they just kind of go through anything they can. So it's very important, if you're going to become an entrepreneur, that you are focused on your non-negotiables. What are your core values? So many people lose that, and being an entrepreneur is not a place to lose your core values.
No.
You have to be driven. You have to take action. You have to find your why, because entrepreneurship is going to be hard.
Yes.
It's going to be. I have been an entrepreneur for 13 years of my life, and I remember in 2016 2006 actually, when I started my first company. It was so exciting, but starting a company is one thing, but keeping the company is a whole other thing. I mean, most people fail within the first year.
Oh my gosh.
The next set of people fail by year 3, and then the majority, they don't make it to year 5. So, what has allowed me to stay as a successful business with demand for 13 years, and I don't see the end in sight. I see more magic, and I see that, do what you say what you do, have integrity, know what your non-negotiables are, and never forget about the people that help you get there. Never forget about the people. Don't go behind people's backs to sell, your services and go and stomp on other people's businesses and opportunity. That's not the way to grow, because eventually karma is going to get back to you. And if you keep focused, committed, if you keep your non-negotiables, your core values, and you do good by people, you add value to their life, and you elevate people as much as you can and help them. I always say, I don't work for money or egos, I work for dreams. So I've had so many businesses that come up to me and say, yeah, I'll pay you this much. And I say, you got the wrong person. I don't work for money. So let's talk about what the impact is, and let's see if our core values align, and if those two things check off, then we'll work together. And I'm not afraid to say no. And that's why I think, operating from that mentality of abundance, like I don't go and knock on people's doors and pressure people to buy from me. I haven't done any marketing. I just, every client and referral, I get so many beautiful referrals. And that's the biggest testament that you're aligned with your purpose. And, as long as that is true to you and you keep elevating other people, magic will continue to flow.
I love that. That's interesting. I don't know if you guys got that. The marketer does no marketing for her own company.
For 13 years.
That's a blessing from God. And the doors that He's opened for you, the doors that you're opening for women like myself, being a part of Volume 5, I'm literally keeping my eyes open. I'm like, who's the next Latina that we can bless? Because if I have any say so, now that I have Jackie in my life, I'm like, she's going to have to I don't know how she's going to get me out of it. I'm not. You're stuck with me. But I can see so many more volumes. I'm literally keeping my eyes open, okay, who's the next girl? Where's the next thing? Hey, Coco.
And then we have a special guest here.
Yes.
Coco is visiting us. He's the king of the house, by the way.
He opens doors and everything all on his own.
He's very, very autonomous. So that's part of life, right? And then, like you said, it's not just about doing that, but it's also knowing that we have, husbands, that we have children, that we have so many other things around our life. It's just, how do you stay together? How do you keep that all aligned? And it goes back to your why.
Yes.
Why are you doing this? And the why will give you the answers to everything.
Okay. And then lastly, I think Coco is trying to be our new cameraman.
Yes, he's got a new job. Thank you, Coco.
I would say, with everything that God has done in your life, how has your faith played a role?
I heard the definition of faith a long time ago, and that is, faith is believing in something that you don't see. Without faith in my life, I feel like every day I'm walking this line between life and death, maybe because of all the experiences that I've lived. And I live seriously with a sense of urgency to serve humanity. So that all is driven by faith, and is driven by this beautiful, beeping heart, and connected to divine downloads, which for me come from God, as a servant leader in this world. And I don't have any other way to describe it. I would not be where I am today. I would not live in blissful gratitude and generosity and love and planting seeds every single day of my life without faith, without believing that there's something greater than me, without believing that there's this beautiful God that created us and that guides us and implants beautiful thoughts and ideas in our hearts that then go to our mind, and then we execute on those.
Yeah.
So to me, there's nothing without faith.
Okay. And I just thought of one more. Where do you see yourself in the next, let's say, 10 years? Where does Jackie Camacho want to be? Where do you want to take either your foundation, your company, the lives that you want to serve? What does that look like in the next 10 years?
You know what? It's an interesting question, because I feel in this moment and in every moment of my life I feel complete. It makes me emotional.
It's amazing.
So I know a lot of people ask me, like, oh, you've done more. Like, if you don't ever write another book in your life, you'll have a legacy forever. And then like when I die, like when people forget about Amazing and my purple craziness, will people forget about my books and my thoughts and ideas? And my husband often says, no, it'll actually be stronger than before.
Yes. Yeah.
But I bring that up because like I said, I live in this line between life and death, and I live aware of my surroundings and the exponential happiness that life brings. And in every moment I feel complete. So to be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know what 5 years is going to bring. I don't know what 10 years is going to bring. What I do know is that every single day of my life I'm focused on elevating other people's dreams and my own dreams. And oftentimes, I've already surpassed everything that I had as a little girl. I never thought about becoming a pilot. Well, I am. I thought about writing one book, and I have 13. So, you know what? I'm living to serve, and I'm serving to live.
Wow.
And I'll be doing that till the day I die, including 5-10 years from now.
I love that. See? Modern day Wonder Woman. She's amazing. Jackie, thank you so much. Now, for the people that are following and watching, don't forget to subscribe. How can they find you? How can they follow you? Where can they make sure they keep in touch?
The Adventures of the Latina can be found on Facebook. Basically, it's Jacqueline Author. Or you can go to Instagram at Jackie Camacho-Ruiz, or you can go to my website where you can see all the crazy books that I have, and even a productivity journal that a lot of Fortune 500 companies are using for their employees, called the Make It Happen Journal at JackieCamacho.com.
All right, great. Well, thank you so much, and thank you all for tuning in today. Make sure that you go ahead and follow Jackie on all her ventures. You'll be able to find those below. Make sure that you subscribe to see the next amazing lineup of interviews that we have coming this year. And don't forget to get your tickets, for today's Inspired Latina, our book launch in May here. We have our New York book launch September 20th at the New York Times. I've never been to New York City, so I'm so excited. So make sure you come out to that if you're in New York. And if you're local, make sure you come to the Latina Talks on April 25th. We have plenty of seats, we have plenty of room, so make sure you come. Yes, come make history with us. We're all about making history. So thank you all. Thank you, Jackie, for opening up your time and your home. It's such a blessing. So until next time, I can't wait to see you guys soon. Take care.